Anyway, we're being joined by the world champion. Magnus, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
What happened in that last game? We're just struggling to explain what happened. You just repeated moves?
I don't know. I guess he just figured there are 2 more matches, and he'll try to win those.
Yeah, it's, I don't like it one bit. I think it's actually a huge disappointment for us, for the fans, for the tournament. I mean, play the match, man. It's a shocking. I think it's actually a very unsporting decision.
Yeah, honestly, in the shock of seeing the game disappear off my screen, I forgot it's only the first set, which makes it slightly less of a shock, but still, yeah, not.
You have to try and win the match. You have to try and win the game. You're not out of the match. It's not as if Magnus has got mate in 5 on the board. It's just an equal position. Just play chess. I don't.
Yeah, no, I'm not suggesting this is good. I just, for a second there, I forgot he's not out of the quarterfinal yet, and I thought it was worse than it was, but it's still very, very unusual to see this happen.
Okay, Magnus, before we get to your match, can we get a quick evaluation on how you feel? Kayakin's chances are of winning.
I would just like to add that I have won a similar game against Wesley once in a very similar structure. So maybe he just felt like this was the structure and I just mated him on the king side. So maybe he was thinking of that, but anyway, I don't know. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit and dwell too much on that, obviously. Yeah, it was obviously a pleasant surprise for me.
Yeah, and game 2 was obviously shocking because your position looked a bit ropey at some point.
I think I made a number of questionable decisions in the opening, but I feel like the worst of them was rook d2 e8 when I did that. So basically I thought I'm gonna play the d rook and I'm gonna keep h4 in reserve, and it hadn't crossed my mind that he could go h4 himself. And I think like this is one of those cases where you're I mean, at least Peter would seriously have considered resignation at this point.
Nah, come on.
Like, it just looks so horrible. Like, let's say I go knight f8, trade on e6, I just have no chance. He goes he goes knight e2, queen g5, and good luck. But yeah, somehow in the game, I think he must have missed the knight coming to f6, g4. It became pretty murky.
But yeah, but also you did it like at the 3rd time of asking, which we couldn't quite understand. You could start even here.
Yeah, I was wondering.
But here I didn't see it.
That explains it.
Yeah.
That covers it, yeah.
Time, so there was b5. Let's say, yeah, b5. So he went
92, yeah.
92. Yeah, here knight f6 was not very appealing because he takes and takes and knight f4. But this time I saw it. And then after what happened in the game, knight c3, then I sort of thought knight f6. He might sack the exchange again. That's what I thought, and then get c5, and it all felt a bit dodgy to me.
You don't know what you've just done, Magnus.
I mean,
maybe it does.
We do think alike.
Yeah, I know, but please don't.
They hate it. They cannot stand it. On a more serious note, so Yeah, and then at the end of this game, he just completely lost control of the wheel. Wesley, he rejected this repetition.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I mean, I was not thrilled about this queen c7, but the more I looked at it, I mean, I sat there, calculated for a couple of minutes. Like, I was considering whether I should go rook d8, but that's a bit too desperate, I think. So I just had to figure out that this king march is actually too slow for him after what happened in the game. Like, he cannot actually. He's trying to get the king to f6, but it's just too slow since I'm just queening my pawns. So maybe he had some other more more subtle ways to play, but it certainly wasn't easy at this point. And yeah, here I think b3 and b4 I'm absolutely fine, and he probably should do what he did in the game.
There was one moment where the chat was yelling at us that white could win. I think after a2 in particular, they said here white had a chance, like rook 5 to e3 back or something. They said white was all of a sudden better.
Oh, I didn't see that. It's not so clear though. Is it bishop e4?
We haven't checked. Just people were saying this was a chance he might have had.
No, rook a1, bishop b1, king g5. I'll go f4, then take an e7. I've seen worse.
Fair enough.
In this game. Okay, maybe he's winning somehow there.
He goes king e5, d5, wins the c5.
d5. Yeah, okay, I've actually not seen worse. And I suppose if I take an e7 immediately, he could take some g6, king e6, king h5, king d5, king g5, king d4, h5, king c3, h6, f4, rook a2. Yeah, I'm too slow.
Anyway.
Okay, whatever.
Time and all that was good.
Okay, well, after what happened in the game, I was sort of a little bit disappointed that after getting the rook to g4 that there were no winning chances for me. So I thought I just have to be a little bit careful here not to get mated. And there was some thought of like that he could get tempted into trying to win, which would be a bit stupid, but yeah, obviously it was a bit ask to win this game.
We should, in the meantime, update
that's
everyone.
That's not over yet. That is
not
a
over?
disconnection.
There's a disconnect problem.
That's a disconnect. Yeah.
The white one. Okay, okay.
You wouldn't march the king to b8 and then
resign. Yeah, that was a bit strange. Okay, then
you could think of going like putting the bishop on d8, the queen on c7, attack a5. Probably that's just one threat though.
What we do, we cover it.
I also wonder if it's possible for white to suddenly decide that his position is dangerous enough that he needs to start pushing for b4.
Yeah,
I was thinking.
Then he's probably going to either win or lose the game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a sort of.
So we had this argument a little bit on air. Like if I showed you position, can we go back? I don't know if you were you listening at that point or not. Move, let's say 28. When was the position we discussed? In the Karakin
Magnus
game.
wasn't here. Magnus wasn't here yet. I don't think.
In the Karakin game.
Ah, you mean the rook e3 business, or what are we talking about?
No, let's say go back to let's say move 28 or wherever. Yeah.
I mean, obviously you take an e3 when you have the chance.
Yeah, sure. But like, what's your evaluation of the position after 91, 95 here?
I would think white is slightly better, but closer to a draw than anything else.
Peter, you're not finding any takers for black is better. Give it up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can see your argument that the pawn pressure on the queen side is so good that white is never really breaking through or anything. So I don't know. I just don't buy it.
Okay.
Bruce Pandolfini would say black is better here.
But what color you would choose in a 15-minute game, I would say black any day. That's not the question.
You know,
Thinking-
no, that part for me was completely settled. I honestly feel like maybe even objectively it's sort of more kind of easier and more pleasant to play with black regardless of the time control, but maybe that's a bit too much. And the machines give white a huge edge. Like Leela apparently screams that white is close to winning.
Yeah, I really wonder what plan it has.
I want to know about your first game against Wesley. We were discussing this position after f takes g5, and we thought knight c6 unclear and rook c8 feels completely lost. Did you have that feeling too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have zero to add to that.
No. Any explanation what he missed, or?
I think he may have underestimated knight f3. He probably was hoping for king f2, queen d2, bishop e2, knight c6. With, I guess, some kind of draw.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my only explanation. It could be that he also really didn't like knight c6.
But that's harder to explain to me
Why?
because
Exactly. That's not really.
I don't know. Like, I have moves like rook h4 or gh, rook h4, for instance, or
yeah, that looks interesting.
yeah, like queen moves, I go knight f3, and it feels like
F6.
but it
No, but
feels
that's a game of chess. Yeah,
yeah, it's
Yeah,
a game
that's
of
a
chess. Like, I feel like it's easier to play white, but I'm sure black can hold it or better in many ways. It was yeah, but rook c8 is, I guess, some kind of very sad attempt to force a draw, but it just doesn't work at all. And
yeah, it was actually very surprising to me personally, for instance, to find out that only 2 moves actually win after king h7. The one you made and also rook h4 wins. But let's say king f3, which is something I was suggesting is more or less a draw after f5 followed by knight c6, knight takes d4 check.
yeah, that's not a shocker to me, actually. Knight f3 feels very, very important, just not to let him take this piece.
But after knight f3 is also more or less game over, no?
Yeah.
I mean, I just had to calculate that rook d1 in the game is mate. That's about it.
So
And that there was actually another cute line there as well. If he goes queen b3 after bishop d3 in the game, then I got rook b1, and he will inevitably be forked on e5. Rook h8 and then knight e5.
that's cute. Yeah, it was just not Wesley's day, and I want to make something very clear. I'm a big Wesley So fan. I mean, I've known Wesley for a long time. He's a great chess player and great ambassador, but I think what he did today is not in the spirit of the competition, to be brutally honest. Just to clarify my position on this, I think
I would say let the man redeem himself in the next few days.
sure, let him come back and give you a proper match, but you know, for me, it's not really.
No, but it's also actually even a little bit. I understand the situation changed because 0-2 is not 0-1, but it's very incongruous with how he played game 2. In game 2, he refused the repetition in a position where
Precisely.
I'm sure he himself understood he needs to take the repetition by this point. The position probably will go sharply downhill if he doesn't. But there he kind of understood that match situation demands he play on. And after that, to see him not do exactly the same in game 3 was a little bit of a shock, frankly.
All right, but it's easy to criticize being 2-0 down against Magnus.
Well, I think
taking a breather.
at that point also, like, you gotta know yourself also, like your own feelings. Like, probably like he genuinely felt that it was better for his chances in the quarterfinals if he just gives it up at this point.
Yeah.
So
don't get it myself.
And we're hearing that the game 3 of Dubov Karakin is about to resume, hopefully, because Sergey managed to reconnect, so that game should be.
What happened with you? Wesley got disconnected, or what happened there earlier?
Yeah, I think he was disconnected. Like he was gone from the server, and he was gone from Zoom as well. And it's a bit of a weird situation when you're the one who hasn't disconnected, because clearly you have to sit where you are. You cannot go anywhere, because then you could check stuff, but you have no idea what your opponent is doing. So I'm not suggesting in any way that any of these players would try an angle there, but it's a bit weird that you get the advantage from disconnecting, because you get to resume in the position that you had, and you will be basically off the grid for a while, you know, free to do whatever you want. So it's a bit weird.
How can we fix it though?
No, I mean, obviously there are cameras around the room, and I'm no way suggesting that anybody would do it, but it's a bit of a weird situation to be in. Also, like in my game, we were at move 12, deep in theory, and like if you haven't checked those lines, being able to check them at that point would be a pretty big advantage.
No, I said the same thing. We're not implying anyone does, but it must be a weird feeling that, you know, someone could look at their lines in the opening, which is weird thing about online chess.
For sure. But yeah, then again, as we said, we have cameras, and we have great people playing these events, people who we would never in a million years suspect of anything. So all of that's good, but it's still like slightly uncomfortable.
In the meantime, the Kayakin Dubov game is back up and running. Did you see what Dubov did in his second game with Black?
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. He just he just advanced everything and then won an exchange, and then Sergey resigned. Is that correct?
Pretty much. Yeah.
I think he lost on time, but yeah, the description. But somewhere around here, I'm pretty sure White is not even doing that poorly. I think maybe Rook F5 wasn't forced.
Yeah, but I saw a computer said Knight C5 is good instead of Knight D2 on move 20, which is actually pretty awesome. Like,
whoa!
One of the ideas is Bishop F5, Queen C6, Bishop C8, Knight B5, and here a threatening Knight A7 followed by Queen B7.
Wow,
that is really nice.
Yeah.
That is.
So
really
after Knight B5, Black is just lost.
all right, and
so that would have been pretty awesome. So okay, the game is going. At the moment, he needs to look out for Rook F7, which I'm sure he's gonna do. I would bring the Rook to D7.
Also, colors clearly are reversed.
Here we are. Sorry.
Yeah.
He put the Rook on H7.
Well, for the same reason, he needs to make sure he never allows that exchange returned on F7. Yeah, it's just very difficult to make any kind of progress here for Black, sadly, because H4, G4 doesn't really improve your chances. Pushing F5 is almost never possible with the pieces being where they are. Looks very nice, but how do you progress?
I mean, you could think of H4, bringing the Queen to H6, maybe the Rook to D7, then start poking around with the Bishop.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the way to go. Queen G8, H8, H6, and start threatening Bishop E3, Bishop D4, bishop f4 if one of the rooks gets distracted to cover the e3 square. He might have to go for something like this eventually.
Yeah, but he's doing the wise thing and lulling Daniel to sleep. And if there's somebody who has the patience to do this kind of thing, then it is Kayakin. So
yeah, and I don't know. I'm probably kind of confirming my status for liking unnatural things, but I was. Did you see the women's Armageddon in the Steinitz?
No, not really.
Because like I understand it's probably kind of not the right thing to be admiring properly, but basically in the Armageddon there, Li Tingzhe, she at some point got a very, very poor position, but in a structure where Katerina is more or less winning structurally, but there are no breaks, and it's an Armageddon, so Black needs to win, and she just actually started shuffling the bishop back and forth for like 40 moves. But
this means you can actually repeat as Black, though.
No, I'm not saying this is the same kind of situation. I'm just wondering if you saw that and what were your impressions.
No, I didn't see it, but I think it's not a bad strategy. I remember Peter Heine had this against Rajabov in Tripoli, I think, in 2004 in the Armageddon. Rajabov played some kind of knight b3 system. Peter Heine got an excellent structure with c5, e5, d4, and so on, against the bishop on d2. And so Peter was very, very, very happy with this position. And then he realized the dude is just going to flag me. So, because Rajabov was just shuffling his pieces around, doing nothing. Then what happened is Peter Heine did something desperate and just lost.
Happy birthday, Peter Heine Nielsen.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
What
so
did
now
you-
I have a concrete idea, which is to go rook b4, a5, a4.
Yeah, if it
Okay.
cannot be stopped, which it's actually a lot harder to stop than I thought originally. Yeah, because you can't really put the rook on a4 fast enough. Ah, yeah, queen a5 probably is.
And then I guess his idea must be queen b7 followed by rook b3, but convincing.
That probably never works. Yeah, when white needs a draw, that always kind of.
And now bishop d1, rook b4, queen a2. That also works.
Because allowing a5, a4, it definitely starts becoming quite scary for white in practical terms.
That is quite a horse on e5, though. Isn't
That
it?
is a very nice horse. Yes.
Okay. So I guess with all of that shuffling, they've actually gained tons of time each on the clock. I can't see the clock times exactly here. But
well, if those clocks are correct, it's like 7 minutes for Daniel against 4 for Sergey. So yeah, plenty of time.
75, so they've been at the structure for a while too.
Oh, queen g5.
what's that?
Active.
Okay, now a5.
I think maybe he wants queen d8 check and then rook takes f7, but he probably might get mated there. Yeah, like bishop.
Actually, it doesn't. Bishop d4.
Bishop f3. Yeah.
But you don't want to do that. You clearly don't want to do that. Let's say bishop e5 instead. Then h4.
Are we talking about rook f7 here?
Yeah. Yeah, bishop e5, then h4.
I might be in time with queen a5 and then just bring it back over, right? Like queen d2 here and hang on grimly. But
Yeah,
it's gonna be grim. Yeah,
it's gonna be mighty grim.
Yeah.
Has he got any ideas to? No, he doesn't want to do something ridiculous. Yeah,
No. There's.
I know what you're thinking about, Lawrence.
I know
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, I was thinking briefly about the same thing, but he does have rook a2 though. This should be noted.
It's actually an important move. Rook a6, rook takes a5 being... Ah, no, you can't. F6.
F6, queen d2, yeah.
Queen d2, we can still protect the rook, yeah.
Kayakin goes queen c7, stops the check.
Yeah, he's a patient man.
This is a sort of position that Karyakin, Luke McShane, who else would really thrive?
Julian Hodgson would not like it.
Julian Hodgson definitely wouldn't like this position. Shout out to Julian Hodgson, by the way. I don't think we've done that for a while.
I think Jules is watching.
I think Jules is probably watching.
Daniel goes g4. I was about to ask if I'm going to get excluded from the Cup Scouts for suggesting g4, but I think Daniel kind of lost patience here, and he won't say g, bishop takes g4, rook b3, rook f7.
Okay, but you got to go h4 as black. I think you got to go h4 takes, and then you got to go, and then you go a5. Yeah, hope for the best.
Rook a2.
Rook a2, rook b4.
Yeah, maybe. But he's already taken. But the thing is, I think you can stop bishop rook f7 from happening here. I thought you can play something like king h7, queen h4, king bishop h6 or something.
Then bishop e6 is still happening.
Is it fe? And just d and rook f7. Yeah.
Yeah. But this I feel like is showing more talent than the position requires. Which I think is always something you don't really encourage.
Yeah, rook b7 I guess stops all of this nonsense right now, yeah? Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe we take anyway, bishop e6 and queen goes somewhere, we go queen takes g6 or something, yeah?
Yeah, and you can never make progress. Yeah, obviously you don't go to a5, you go like queen b8.
But then this is an internal pin, yeah. h4, h5, h6. This is just
oof.
Nasty. So yeah, it looks like Daniel in full control.
Well,
yeah, but in fairness to Kayakin, to come back from 2-0 is pretty impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult, that's for sure. Yeah, but
sorry, Peter, I have to do it once.
Oh, that was a dig at P. I got it. I understand.
Got it at the second try.
Rook b7 played, yeah, and yeah, now he needs to show his pedigree and take on f7 anyway. Come on.
He will.
He's going to do it.
By all this shuffling.
Of course he's going to do it. He's not even going to think about it.
Actually, there is something else. I think you could just win by going bishop d. Oh, maybe not. I was thinking about just bishop d1, h4, h5. But here they're okay. At least you get a5, so the game goes on.
That's probably good though.
Yeah, it's not bad, but
yeah, BA and then
flair. Come on, do the flair thing.
To quote somebody, he's showing far too much talent for this position. Then the position requires. Sorry, I think that was verbatim.
Far more talent than the position requires.
Yeah, I like that. I think he's going to take on f7. It's clean, it's easy, it doesn't take long to calculate, and there's just you only need to make a draw, so no extra points for winning. I don't see why he would even tempt. Just cuts everything, practically.
He's also not spent a lot of time during all this shuffling back and forth, so you can take a minute now. He's got this.
Calculate something.
Okay, I think he's got this, so I'm gonna go.
All right.
Thank you so much, Magnus Carlsen.
Congratulations on a convincing day, and we'll see you in a couple. Well,
convincing enough. Sure.
Convincing enough. We'll see you in a couple of days.
Sure.
All right. Thanks, Magnus.